Algorand. Yo, what's good? We on the next block. Shout out to the crew. We're gonna start to bring them in right now. What's good, David?
What is going on?
What's good, Coop?
Algorand. Algorand. Yeah. What's up?
Hey, man. Algorand, so we hyped always, JT usually here. Shout out to JT. He might
Yep.
pop up for everybody that's tapping in. We appreciate you. And yes, of course, Algorand.
Yeah, JT, he's out enjoying the Colorado nature. He's having a party out there in Colorado. Probably he needs to make a few more blood sacrifices to Lucifer while he's out there. That pump only lasted a little bit.
Well, you guys know that ever since I've cursed JT on Twitter, the Celtics have lost 2 in a row. So me and JT have a big game tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say, are the Warriors going to close it out?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm with the Warriors. I know Coop with the Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
I like things about both teams. I feel like, to me, just from a business perspective, they want it to go to Game 7. You make more money. So I think we'll see a Game 7, but who knows?
We'll
I also thought that a lot when LeBron was going up against the Warriors, and there was many series where that ended out really quick.
Yeah. Well, LeBron got Cleveland that championship, so
that's all.
I mean, we'll say Kyrie got.
That's true, actually. Yeah, if we're being,
that guy was going in with the step back.
Oh man, yeah.
So
let's jump into it. What are you guys seeing out there in the markets right now? Algorand, Bitcoin, ETH. What's your heat check right now?
Ooh, okay. Heat check. So looking at the markets, of course, we had all those. We'll talk about all the hikes and things that's happening, but Algorand looks like it's bouncing at that 30 point, really solid. As course as everything else, they went, already 90% down. So we already been hit. But Algorand's looking good. I'm trying to scoop up every chance that it hits around 30 as much as I can. And if it goes up to 40, I'm looking to short it back to 30. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense.
What about you, Coop? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm just seeing wreckage. I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything good's coming. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, we might get a little pump, but I don't have a lot of confidence in any pump right now. So just like C will, it's sell those pumps and, just trying to stack at this point. And hopefully you don't get burned doing that because of some announcement or something. But the only thing I can see making prices go up or, is a big catalyst, and that's not even going to last. It's rough. You guys know.
I think when we had Mark Yisko on the chat, there was a huge thing that he said, is like during, how do you survive the crypto winter? And he's like, well, each, 3 houses had, you have to have your firewood, right? And he's like, well, the first house didn't stack enough, second house didn't stack enough, and the third house didn't stack enough. And I feel like that's where we're at. Everybody thinks you have it, your stack, and you're ready to last through it, and then it starts to get, of course, this is, me talking who I've not been through, a crypto winter. I've been through investing winters and stuff like that, but not so much on the crypto side. So this is still all very new to me. And so, it's crazy seeing obviously BitBoy, crypto out here going after people and class action lawsuits. You got 3 Arrows Capital that's not responding to people, right? I mean, they could be insolvent. You have Celsius Network, people questioning if Saylor's going to go under, if he's going to get leverage calls. I mean, it's literally crazy.
It's crazy.
Well, talk about Saylor. I just watched his interview, another clip this morning. They're so good about not getting liquidated. People are confused.
So is his liquidation closer to 20K, or is it like, or they have to start adding more to the fire?
All they got to do is take their bag and just add more collateral. They use like 2% of their collateral. So people are all nervous, but the number is 9K, and you know how it is on like AlgoFi. All you got to do is put more money on and they're good. So that's kind of where they're at. And they bought most of their bags in 2020 and 2021. So they up.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this isn't researched at all, but I thought I saw something like, their average price is like 20.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So they're about even money.
That's where you see, even Mark Yisko said, in our chat, he was like, what drives these big drops and these big run-ups is it's the degen gamblers, right? It's the people who are not only just buying these assets, but they're leveraging and over leveraging themselves. And then when the market moves fast, then you have to either A, sell and cover your loans, or you have to
Yep.
add more money. And that's the thing, is most people can't add money fast enough that at the rate that it's falling. Especially, I've heard some people are at 80-90% leverage, and I'm like, I get
Don't
nervous
do that.
at
Crazy.
40,
Yeah, don't do that.
right?
I have right now. I have zero leverage.
I do have a
Um,
little, so
yeah.
I definitely but I've done the math. I know where I would have to start adding, and I'm not. And one, I don't even think Algorand will hit those levels, but if it does, I mean, I have plenty of cash to
Yeah,
buy myself out of that and not get liquidated, right? No one wants to get liquidated, but
well, and then there's the whole fiasco with wrapped ETH because of
Mhm.
Lido and ETH 2.0. So that's what's happening. I mean, in a lot of ways to Celsius is that, they're really aggressive, locked up a bunch of their customers' ETH and Lido, and they have this wrapped ETH that is depegged. So they don't want to sell that. So they
Mhm.
yeah,
got trapped.
Oh,
yeah,
So
Rap Eve, that was DPEG. Yeah, I did see something
it,
about that.
yeah, so
Mhm.
that's a mess. And then also just to kind of go back to like how I'm like approaching this, there's really like two ways you can do this. You can go
yeah,
grandma style, you know what I mean, and just forget about it, turn off your
yep,
computer, and then that will
Grandma
work. But if
style.
you, or you can go, if you're actually here paying attention, like what C Will was saying, what we're saying is like there's things you can do to make this advantageous.
yeah,
And if you're paying attention, it makes sense to kind of learn some of those things
Yep.
and figure out how to stack a little bit. Like, like your buddy
yeah.
said, like stack it up. I mean, look, it's all going down, and so stacking's your only option to make you
Yeah.
feel good and make you
Yeah,
feel
because
like you're,
it's like, think about it. If we're selling and we're already 90% down and you
yeah,
wasn't selling on the way up, then it's like, what's the
And you're
point?
doing it backwards, right?
exactly.
That's
Doing
Yeah,
it
that's
don't
the
do
backwards.
that.
whole market
Buy the
psychology
high,
that is
sell the
so
low.
hard to beat. Because the thing is, it plays with your mind so much. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I feel like the only way you really like make it on the other side is you literally like it has to have its effect on you, right?
Yeah.
You have to buy the top, you have to sell the low, you probably have to get liquidated somewhere in there,
Yeah.
and really know how the whole market works before you come out on the other side. I mean, you have to look at all the big venture capitalists, right? They were born out of this last run, and look at
Yeah.
them. Like we would think they're the like Three Arrows Capital and so
Yeah.
many of the other big ones that are out there. You think they're so smart, and then now you start seeing the cracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I watched the interview with Thinking Crypto. I think that's his
Mhm.
podcast name,
Think-
where he talked with Michael Arrington from Arrington XRP Capital, and he was
Mhm.
just saying like they got rid of all their leverage 4 months ago and pretty much have been sitting on cash. They're still not buying. Like they're investing in startups and in DeFi and things like that. I think they just started a Moonbeam fund. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're big into Algorand and stuff, but it's interesting to see, who's doing what as far as the big money, the smart money. And so I think that's the big thing to learn. But we can jump into some of the topics. I know one of the first ones, or do you have a quote
Sorry,
in the chat?
no, I'm hitting this chat. I'm trying to do play around with this. Oh, there we go. But
Yeah. There we go.
yeah, let's pull the first one up. I'm testing out these features. I actually haven't even went live with this until now.
Right, JT's normally our
Yeah.
IT
Oh,
guy
he's the
who's,
one in
like,
charge? All right.
handling, yeah.
I'm just gonna I just want to retweet our stream here. So
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna pull this first thing up real quick. Where you at? What we said where is it go? Where'd you go?
We can go Fed rate hike first.
Fed rate hike. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Okay. Can we see this here?
Yeah, I think you want to move off the
Let me move
the
the
chat
chat.
off the screen there.
There we
Just so
go.
it makes it a little bit bigger.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Hey, there you go. So
There
this
we
was
go.
one of the things that I was kind of surprised. I was ready, guys. I was ready to buy once they announced the 75, or 0.75 rate hike. I was like, all right, here we go. Bitcoin's tanking. Algo's not going to hold this area. It's going to fall to a quarter or below, and it didn't. Right, it pumped right back to like 35 cents. I think is the highest I saw. What are your all's thoughts with the Fed raising rates and the market's response?
Well, what I seen was this. Like, what was the first CPI came, I believe, on Monday or something like that last week.
or Friday.
Yeah, one of the two. They're back to back. But what I did, shout out to JT again. Yeah, I did a short because, like, we seen that with that announcement, they're starting to price everything in. So the short
Yeah.
worked out. I did a small short, made some profit. Then
Yep.
I attempted to do it again on some stocks with a inverse play, and I was wrong. But I was like, okay, a pump, right? There's a pump. There was a pump on Monday or whenever that announcement was. So I waited one more day, and then my short, I closed it out this morning, and it hit real good because it was a dead cat bounce. We do
Yeah.
know overall the market is in a downtrend. So, like what
Yes.
Coop said earlier, if we get a nice pump like this, you kind of got to think that it's a fake out. They want you
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
buy more. The market wants you to buy more so you can get wiped out. Those are my thoughts on this.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of they were prepared for this 75 basis point, the people that know. So it was priced in during the week, I think.
Mhm.
And I guess the idea is that this shows that the Federal Reserve is taking it seriously. So that's like a good thing for the markets because, we're down a lot. But I've been convinced I started to believe them that we would get a pump, so I kind of adjusted accordingly, and
Yep.
it's worked out okay. But yeah, no, we're in a downtrend.
Yep.
Sewell said it, and so these little pumps, these are opportunities, but they're not times to go long. I mean, they could be. It's going to be fine. Like you
Yeah.
could buy
Yeah.
at 35 cents algo, and you're going to be fine. I'm not trying to
Hold a
say that.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say it's a bad investment because we'll all look back at this time and whether it's 35 cents or 29 cents, it's going to feel like the same if we're proven right.
Yeah.
So it's no knock on people that are just long, but on everything. But yeah. So I thought it was going to be a quick pump and that's what it looks like it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced that we're going to see Bitcoin at like 16, 15, 16. I
Yeah.
think it's going to have to touch that
See,
before we
here's
recover.
the thing.
Yeah.
If we start to see that, and we can kind of transition into the next topic, just on that with seeing Bitcoin at 20K, ETH at 1K, algo. Obviously, there's not really you could look at past cycles, but this may just be the one cycle so far, and
That's the other one.
if we get to, I feel like if Bitcoin sees that 16K, I mean, we've already been notified Celsius, they paid down their leverage to where, they're good up until I think 17K or right around there.
I think they got it
Celsius.
lower. They got it lower than that. I think they got it to 14.
Oh, did they get it to 14? Okay, I didn't see
Yeah.
that. But that's the thing. It's like, if we start seeing these drops, especially with no relief, right? If
Yeah.
it just continues to tank, I think, we may start to see that capitulation event happen a lot faster because of so many things chasing the bottom and trying to pay off debt and trying to pay off
Yeah.
leverage and things like that.
Well, and the big money guys, they know that Celsius is in trouble. They know that these, probably BlockFi and some other places are, maybe not so publicly, but are in trouble. So, they're not trying to jump in and save these things. They
No.
know that if they can drive this price down, there's going to be some very nice pricing for them to, be late to the party with good prices.
Yeah, I think here's a good comment.
Comments.
Yeah, I was just going to say because you're bored. Yeah, Bitcoin bottom is in for the summer. It's his opinion. What are your all's thoughts? I'll go ahead and say I do feel like there is more pain to come, but I feel like I don't think the bottom. I mean, obviously, I guess it depends on what we've been in summer here in Florida for a while. At least if you want. Everybody else, I know y'all might still be cold, but it's burning hot here. So I feel like as the summer continues, we could see some sideways action. But like you kind of said earlier, Coop, I don't really see anything that could pump the market back up to really, give us that relief bounce, right? I mean, there's just not much positive, things happening right now in the market, other than that, things are being built. Algorand's doing amazing things and building it during the bear market, crypto winter. But, I really don't know when, this bottom is going to be in. And I know there's plenty of people that think there still has to be some big, they think that something big has to go to zero still. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's Coinbase, right? They just fired like 18%. I woke up this morning, they let go of 8% of their employees in India. I mean, it's getting real, at least for the crypto market, very fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. I'll just watch my money disappear further if Coinbase goes to zero. Jesus, I thought I got a good deal on Coinbase at like 120.
Oh, you
I
got
did
the
not get a.
stock?
Yeah, I did not get a good
Oh,
deal, guys. I did not
I
get a
saw
good
the
deal.
I saw the meme tweet.
oh, dude.
It was
Yeah, let's support
Kramer
Coinbase.
saying Coinbase. He likes Coinbase to like 457 or something, but and then someone put it to a year after is like 45.7, not
Yeah.
Oh man,
457.
Yeah.
it's
Was
okay.
it
It wasn't a
Kramer?
big position, but
Was it Kramer who said that?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see.
JT's in the chat. What's going on,
Uh,
JT? Hope you're having fun out there in Colorado.
What's good,
JT,
JT? Look at that Coinbase right here.
yeah,
250
$50,
to 50
$50.
bucks. Yeah.
But it
Look
is
at that.
crazy though, because you see things like this, Coinbase, right? Firing people. Yet you have Binance out here hiring, and they said they've positioned themselves well to last through. And I feel like that's where we're at. We're at this kind of like this teeter-totter, balancing act of like there's some things that are good and well positioned and are building and growing, and there's other things that are literally in shambles, falling apart. People are losing faith. I mean, look at Ethereum right now, right? 11 weeks, I think, of red candles. You got their ETH Foundation out here questioning Algorand's, the science behind what Algorand's doing as far as VRF, verifiable random functions and things like that. I mean, it really is a who knows what's going to come next.
So what happened with that? Can you break it down? I missed it.
I would have to go. I mean, I'll say this, Coop, you had a really good explanation. You didn't go as, maybe deep as some people want, but you did good on the recoup. I just watched yours. But pretty much, some of the guys from Polkadot and ETH Foundation came out questioning, Paul destroyed him, questioning a little bit about,
possible.
if Algorand uses lattices and, things like that. And obviously Paul Regal came through and was like, hey, we don't. And obviously it came back to them just being like, oops, I didn't, fact check and actually make sure that this was legit before I came, and attacked, Algorand's tech. But
yeah, I think so. I don't know this, and I revealed it on the show yesterday. But I think Algorand is doing something on Ethereum, or they're for state proofs, and
So they can be
there's something
compatible.
going on to create that kind of that bridge. But by the way, it would be great to have somebody that knows what they're talking about talk about this, and I think all three of us are a little in the clouds about it.
Don't
But
know.
they did. That guy looked at it and thought that it was not collision resistant, so apparently it's vulnerable, right? That's what they're thinking. But then Paul, Mr. Blue Sky said, just kind of swooped in and destroyed him in the like, hey guys, what's up? Like, just so you know, and kind of broke it down real quick. And then somebody asked them to kind of break it down. And then it's just like, it would take, where I got it wrong, I guess 4 million times of the data yearly for the entire world to
I didn't know what a
actually
yo-yo
break.
byte was.
Yeah,
I'd
I
never
never
heard
heard of
that
it
term before or whatever.
You see
whatever
the
that was.
data of the world to do what?
So 4 million times the data consumed in the world total would take that much to actually, break whatever it is Algorand's building.
Oh,
and then
shit.
a Polkadot guy came through talking about VRF and what garbage Algorand's VRF is, which, Silvio McCauley is the co-inventor
Verifiable
of that.
random
Right.
functions.
Fun-
Yeah.
And he said because it's lattices, and look, we're lattices are freaking the
Lettuce,
things in my backyard.
lattice.
That's what I put around my pool, right?
Yeah,
Algorand doesn't have any lattices. I'm like, what's that mean?
I remember my best friend when I was younger got on the lattice when we were drunk and he fell through. It was hilarious, but my parents weren't happy. Anyways, so yeah, and then but the VRF that Algorand uses is doesn't use lattices. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we don't need them. We got the underground pool. No lattices around our pool. Yeah, and it's funny enough. I saw some people tweeting this out as well. As like, ETH is doing so bad, right? 11, weeks of straight red that they're out here attacking the 27th ranked, blockchain, crypto out there on CoinMarketCap. They're taking digs at other projects instead of, I guess, worrying about their own merge or whatever else they're trying to put through. And I think it just further comes to show that, hey, there we go.
There he is.
What's going on, guys?
Yo,
What's
what's
up,
good, JT?
He's in a tent.
Can you guys hear me?
He's in a tent.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm in my canopy right now.
Yeah,
Let
we
me give you
can.
a better,
Yeah, it's a little laggy, but yeah, we got you.
It's awesome.
Hey, we got a caller in.
We gotta. Oh, look at this. Oh, he's at a
camping.
festival. Wow.
Festival.
Yeah, this is the campsite for the
Oh,
festival right now that we're at.
y'all in
Nice.
I'm gonna
Colorado?
go vertical. Yeah, there we go.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Look at that.
What are you guys talking about?
Look how
Oh
well-
God, this is like when Monty's camera was failing.
Yeah, this is. Oh God, this is. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Damn.
Got
All right,
it.
well,
So where you
Mike-
at, JT?
I'm in Colorado, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you guys too. You guys are killing it. I was watching a little bit in my spare time. It's a little
Yeah.
early here, so it's 11 a.m. here as opposed to 1 p.m. like you guys normally do it. But
Well, hey, me and Coop is at 10:30
I
right
was
now.
about to say, yeah, they're still
Oh, yeah.
early. For me, it's in the
Yeah, we're-
afternoon. I'm sitting over
That's
here
true,
wanting
but,
about to go to the pool.
Everything I do with y'all is early.
that's fair. I'm at a festival though, so you stay up late. And, early is different here.
That's true. That's true. All-
What's the highlight? Give us a highlight.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Blue Devil or whatever. A different. Give me a highlight.
The Blue Devil.
Oh, that thing's hilarious. That's right outside the Denver airport. It's like the creepiest thing ever. But yes, pretty low vibe. It's just kind of chill here currently. Everyone's just relaxing. This is day one technically. We got here yesterday for early arrival. Music doesn't start until like 5 p.m. So everyone's just kind of chilling, getting their campsites in order, and really hanging out, just vibing.
Heck yeah.
Nice, man. Are
Yeah.
you? How long are you going to be there?
I'm gonna be in Colorado probably until like the 25th or something like that. The festival
Okay,
itself is over. We're leaving Monday on the festival, but we've got a lot to do in Colorado.
Cool.
Nice. Heck yeah,
Hey.
Man, we hope you
Like to
enjoy
hear
it.
the-
You got to send us some videos, send us some pictures for sure.
What's
Yeah,
this
I'll
market
send you guys
sentiment?
something.
JT, what's the market? How you feeling about the market?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's really interesting. I made a funny post about a blood sacrifice, and then algo went up 15%. So, I guess it worked. I don't know.
I mean, ever since I cursed you, JT, you're on a 2-game losing streak. So I'm just saying.
That's true, but we're still in it. We're still in it. I have hopes.
true.
If I lose 200 algo, I lose 200 algo. It is what
Sure.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, I'll be using it if I win the 200 algo, I'm using it to buy recoup.algo. So it'll go
All right,
to a
so-
good cause.
You guys
All right.
heard JT sponsors the Recoup now, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So JT will be paying for my recoup.algo. That's what I'm looking for. But we'll
Uh-oh.
see. I still got to win the game tonight. I don't want to
Yeah.
count my money before I got it.
It's gonna be fun.
Don't do
That's
that.
for
I
sure.
won't be able to watch it. Hopefully, I log on later and we win, and I get to
Yeah.
have a little bit of joy about that on the inside.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
fellas, I'll let you guys get back to the real discussion. What's actually at hand. Algorand and all the fun stuff happening in the market while I'm out here. So keep killing it, guys.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks
for- man.
Definitely.
Good to see you.
Jumping in.
Yeah, see you.
Of course. Thanks for letting me come in.
Peace.
Hell yeah.
Later, guys.
Wow, we had a guest caller.
Look
Right?
at that.
We'll have to set some of those up more in the future.
Most definitely. I think that's a great idea. Let's do it. All
So
let
let's
me
see.
say a
So
couple shout-outs
we were-
real quick.
We were
Couple
talking
shout-outs.
about all the I guess ETH kind of coming at Algorand and and there was a tweet I think by who was it? It was trying to think. I don't know. It's escaping
Why
me.
you
But
think- let me shout out real quick. Shout out to Dan Randall, all the people in the stream, Mr. Blue Sky. Because you're bored, we got Geo. Did I miss? I knew it was somebody else. I keep most y'all comment JT. Oh, that's already JT. Dan, shout out to Dan. Algo Nice. Maru Cat 808. Shout out to Hawaii. You know what I'm
Hell yeah.
saying?
These are all the familiar faces. What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
guys?
Yeah, what's good? Appreciate y'all for always tapping in. All right, where were we at, David?
I was thinking of a tweet because there was someone who was saying, I want to say it was, I don't know why I can't even think of the Twitter handle. It's someone very prominent in the Algorand community, but I think it may even been Chris Swinner. But he was talking about how, that the reason maybe why ETH's attacking or even like trying to come out and FUD algo, right, is because what so many of us think is true is that the reason why is because Algorand is the true, ETH killer. And I don't even think you say that ETH's going to ever fully die, right? I do think there could be still a future where people use it. I don't know who these people are, especially with the market and
My
value
fault,
coming
Damien.
down
My
as
fault.
far as it is.
They're called
But,
LimeWire. They're called
Yeah.
LimeWired.
Yeah, LimeWire loves it. They really want to go. I'd love to see the math behind how much money they would still save by not paying the gas fees and everything. But that's neither here nor there. But it's like that's why we're so excited about Algorand, and obviously you were at Consensus and you saw the excitement there of not only the investors and the fans of Algorand but also the builders. And I've heard people say that Algorand right now gives them the same vibes that ETH had right when it was on its come up, right? And so I think this is going to be a really cool crypto winter. I mean, as cool as crypto winter can get, right? Where just don't watch the wealth side of it. Just look at the building and the ability to stack and things like that. But that's where I feel like we could see a flippening happen where people do start to look more at the tech and they do start to look more at utility and the usability of the blockchain rather than just the hype and things that we've kind of see dominate the space over the last runs. And obviously that's what we hope, right? Because we believe we're following in the following the blockchain that has the best tech, right? It's got Silvio, it's got other great cryptographers and people that are leading the way. So still super bullish there, but obviously I don't know if you guys still have anything you want to say.
I do. I want to say this. I want Coop, before Coop you touch on Consensus, if you don't mind. I want to see what your experience was like. But let me complain real quick. I wrote a tweet about this earlier, and this is why I really love Algo. But basically, I bought some Bitcoin this morning, and then I sent it to my ledger, and I was like, wait, some money is missing. I checked it out. It was a $17 fee, and that kicked my ass. And then I checked my other Algorand that I sent to my ledger, and guess what the fee was? It was 0.001. Algo very consistently. So we already know what Ethereum does in terms of that. So I think when we're going back to that point of why they're like kind of pissed off, the tech is superior. It is showing that it's the best. And then kind of pivoting back to Consensus, can you speak on what that experience was at at Consensus with the Algo found? I know you was with Bilal. Shout out to Bilal too.
Yeah, Bilal, man, that guy, I met him in person for the first time. That guy's a ball of happiness, man. He's this
pure
tall,
spirit.
Yeah, he's a tall dude and just running around smiling at everybody. So Bilal's some good energy. You guys know, well, first, before I talk about Consensus, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about my bronze medal party that I like to joke about, right? So it's, my idea is that it's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, then Algorand. But I don't know, man. Like, I've always kind of thought that Bitcoin is going to be the backstop and kind of lead the way. I've always thought that, even though I know that the tech, there's an argument against that as well. Bilal is love. And, and then, but lately, especially after yesterday, it's just kind of like, man, maybe Algorand really could flip Ethereum. Like it was nice to see these people kind of fudding on some level, fudding Algorand. But Consensus, look, Algorand is under the radar, guys. Like it's under the radar. People don't know. A lot of people don't know what it is. You have people asking if it's a layer 2. Like people don't know.
Yeah.
And
I had a guy. Continue. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that was a little like, man, like really at this point, and you start to have to check yourself a little bit and be like, all right, so you're in a bubble. Like, all right, like you realize that just because your Twitter friends are all in love with Algorand, that the entire world isn't necessarily there. And so, but I see cracks in that. I would stand at the Algorand table. People are learning about it. When we did our state proofs thing, you could tell that there's a lot of people that were learning about Algorand. Like it's the best tech and it's on us. I think the community, everybody to kind of keep it going. And it's hard. It's a hard balance, right? Because like yesterday, a lot of the community wants to dunk on Ethereum. And I think we should on some level. Like it doesn't mean that we have to all be sweethearts all the time. You know what I mean? No. But at the same time, like we need to figure out how to get this out there. And it's not our only, obviously marketing and they're trying to do it. But my main takeaway is that really when I would watch panels and they would talk about the problems they were all having, I constantly was thinking, am I wrong? Or Algorand literally has solved this. And, I'm talking about the panel with Polygon, Moonbeam, and AVAX. Okay. Like I'm watching this being like they're talking about problems. What's up?
Name some of these problems. I already know some, but I want to see what you caught out there.
Well, it's just like, what was it that the Polygon guy was saying? And they, and they refused to mention Algorand. What was he saying? He was saying, it wasn't about scalability. I don't know. I don't remember, guys, but I remember the thought. Like I remember thinking,
Yeah.
like this
Algorand solves
is
all
so.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it solves it, and it's just they refuse to mention it. And then we got a tweet from Kelly yesterday that I retweeted, and she apparently this is a long-standing thing with Ethereum and Polkadot about the attacks from the Ethereum Foundation and Polkadot on Algorand. So they're trying to keep it down, and I guess at some point. To the QR code on the screen.
yeah.
To see Will, David, and I, and it will solely be used to grow the show into something great. I need to get a QR code, guys. What's going on? You guys got this thing. You got callers calling in. you got graphics. You got QR codes. Damn,
what's happening?
Do people ever send anything to that QR code?
Yeah, we've got it. We've got some donations. Algo fam is generous. I would say the biggest donation I ever got was on one. It was actually back when me and Seawill were just doing our show, and we were kind of starting it before we even had JT come in. I think someone had sent me like 100 Algo, and this is when Algo was like above $1. So someone obviously was showing some love. So
now, I want to give a shout out to, like, shout out to Damian Brown, but all the military guys, bro. They're so damn supportive of I don't know how supportive they are, but they hella supportive of me. They've sent me algos. They tapping into all the shows, sending DMs. So shout out to my veterans out there.
Yeah, you got a big vet community, Will?
I mean, I don't know,
but you're starting to feel that way.
Yeah, because I had some even vet guys from different blockchains just giving me game in the DM, and when the bear market or bull market was running, how to make a better flip. So I don't know, but shout out to military guys. They seem like they're good traders and good investors.
Hell yeah.
There you go. It was I was just thinking about what the thing you were just saying there, Coop, about it's like most people don't know, right? And I got two stories. One was I was out by the pool. Our pool here, we have a lot of people come out there and hang and talk. And I know some people know crypto. And one of the guys had his buddy in who is actually the chief marketing guy for a project on Ethereum called Lily Finance. So I was like talking to him. He was showing me his wallet, and he had ton of money in it just because he obviously was one of the founders. So this token, even though its market cap is tiny, had tons of tokens, and he's obviously got a lot of them in his wallet. And so, he's very wealthy already. Obviously, I don't know how well the project is doing now. It's been a couple months ago, but he started asking me, like, what are you into? And I was like, I'm into Algorand. I talk Algorand. I have a show about Algorand. That's all my YouTube is about. And he's like, what's Algorand? And I was like, this is a guy who is like, and I had to tell him, and at the time, Algorand was still over, I think, 5 billion in market cap, and I was telling him all these things, and to him, he was just like, "Oh wow, I've never heard of Algorand." And so, just like we're in a bubble, right? People who use their blockchain are in a bubble. I think there's still a vast amount of tribalism, right, in the crypto community, and so it's really sometimes the first thing you get into. The first thing you get into, you become so passionate about it. And then the second thing is when we had Mark Yesko on, he talked about how he made the comment, and this is what led to us saying, well, Silvio solved the blockchain trilemma. He said, you can't have security and scalability. He said, you got to choose one, right? And we know that's just not true. Like, you can have those two things, and you can have actually all three of them. With decentralization on Algorand. And I feel like it's just so many of these platforms that are just copy and pastes of Ethereum have built this narrative so strong that you have to sacrifice one of these things. You have to have expensive fees. You have to have, gas fees, and it can't be carbon negative. And even if it is, it can only be on this L2 part of the chain. There's just all these negative things to it that are spun from what ETH has built, during this last big run. And I think during this bear market, during the crypto winter, or at least I'm hopeful that people start really doing their own research and they start finding things like Algorand. I mean, even Cardano in ways has some good things going for it, but obviously I'm more bullish to Algorand. And
it seems like Cardano and Algorand are making friends. I feel like there's like a friendship being made, and obviously Charles Hoskinson reveres Silvio McCauley and doesn't acknowledges it. You know what I mean? Which I find good, because clearly these other guys are aware, like Vitalik Buterin is aware of who Silvio McCauley is, but he will not none of these guys will talk about Algorand I think it's because of a threat, but I
Yeah.
think it's a threat.
It's like when you were when at the SALT conference, right? And Silvio was on stage with I'm not even going to try to net their names: the Solana, Avalanche, and Near. They all got crazy names.
Oh yeah. SALT conference,
literally all of them were so defensive. Like they were literally in defensive about like their project and honestly, all of their conversations were geared toward what they hope to do one day. And literally Silvio in classic style is the only one there. Like, this is what we do now. Like we do all the things y'all hope to do. We're doing it now. And
that's it.
Yeah. If you think about it, this is why I know I'm thinking about 50 Cent right now, but he's like, don't talk about your 10 bricks. Right. And this is a concept of talking about what you used to have and how it used to be, or being too far in the future. The real thing is like what Silvio did. What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
And right now, Algorand is doing what everyone wants to do or used to be able to do. So it's,
and then it's also not settling. Sorry to interrupt you, but then I'll let you continue. But it's also not settling for what it's been. You know what I mean? Like it's like he seemed almost flabbergasted. It's like, you guys don't want to push this forward. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so when you think about it, was AVAX. The AVAX guy was like, let's make Ethereum, the EVM, just the standard. We know it's bad. We know it sucks, but let's just fix it later. I'm like, okay.
I can only
that
imagine.
was basically the Polygon Sandeep, I think his name is, from Polygon on the panel I watched at Consensus. That was basically his position too, is like EVM's the only one. And that's going to live. And it just seems unlikely.
I really want to know what Silvio thinks in his head. Like, what was he thinking when he heard those words on the stage? Because I'll say this, he wanted to answer back quick, but they moved on to the next question. And then when it finally got to talk, he's like, no, I got to go back and correct something. That was sitting, like, he was sitting there just like, no, like, what is this? This is dumb. Like, you guys are on stage with me? Like, that's what I obviously think he's thinking. But he's probably very humble. I'm sure he's an amazing guy, and I'd love to have him on the show. Let's move over into the next.
I'm in competition. I think we talked a few weeks ago about not being competitive. Well, I'm in competition for that interview.
Regardless, I love.
I'll keep going for myself.
So Silvio, if you're watching, do me first.
I love hearing Silvio speak, no matter what channel he goes on. Heck, and I'll know this: I'm a horrible interviewer. I'm not the best at coming up with the best questions. I know JT, heck, even Recoup. I've loved some of your interviews. Y'all do way better job than I do. I'm just a crazy individual who loves talking Algorand. But let's jump into maybe some controversial news, right? Algorand is great. It's amazing. But, we have the governance vote that just ended. And this is the first governance vote that we didn't vote with the foundation, right? So on measure 1, including DeFi into governance, did not, it said remain with the status quo. I've even seen some tweets from Stacy over the last couple of days, kind of, not saying that she's upset, I guess, that it didn't go through, but just kind of saying, she definitely wanted, you could tell she wanted it to go through, right? She wanted to see, this, the ability for the DeFi participants to be included in governance. So what are your all's thoughts there with it remaining the status quo? Is, especially during the bear market, is this good, bad? What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll top, I think, look, I mean, it was predictable that this would happen because there's problems with this. And so I think somebody pointed it out on Twitter the other day. I forget the handle, but it was smart. Like, we're watching all these exploits, messing with the DeFi and stuff like that. That gives opportunity for bad actors. And if it's not well thought through, it could be exploited. And, maybe that risk is just not a good idea right now. So I'm on the side of that. But in the end, this is predictable that it would go against the foundation, because the problem we have with governance in general is that there's these early backers that have in tremendous size bags, and they don't want stuff like that to happen because they want this easy money, right? Yeah. It's just easy. They take zero risk. They get their 10% and they move on with their day. And 10% on their bags is huge. Yeah. So that's,
the bigger the payoff.
Yeah. So it's clear that, I think, I don't know. I feel like governance is a bit of a mess. I've been a supporter of it, but I've been talked out of that a little bit. It's kind of like we're just being inflated and we're not getting anything in return, really. And
I mean, yeah, we saw.
Yeah.
I mean, how many algos pumped into the? You know, it's kind of like. I mean, it's not like ETH's staking mechanism because obviously the people who are staked in ETH, you know, you can't pull it out, right? You're
yeah,
stuck there until ETH
yeah,
2.0 and those. So like, there is you know, you if you saw the price of algo going down, you know, and the inflation, you could pull out. Obviously, you're just forfeiting those rewards, but chances are, I would say for most people, you know, the algo you would have saved and taking it out and even just swapping to stable or something instead of just, you know, hanging into governance. You know, I definitely think that governance is cool. It's definitely good to see, in my opinion, the, you know, something that's not just with the foundation go through, right? That the
right,
people have a voice and it can be
right.
heard and they can vote. I voted against it, and mine was, you know, I don't know all the. I know there's like I said, a lot of people way smarter than me that can hack, you know, and game the systems. You know, that's not me. I'm not going to be one of those people. But to me, it just seemed rushed, right? I mean, the whole measure seemed rushed. It seemed like they just wanted to get this thing done now, and it had to be done now. And then, right as it was getting pushed out, the verbiage even changed. Where before it was, you know, technically just going to be, you know, something that was going to change, and then they added in the, well, this is only for 2022, and that right there just to me spelled out we just need to wait, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes
I
no action
went
is better
against
than
the measure
inaction.
too. I definitely went against the, you know, B. I went with B.
yeah.
Same reasons y'all said. Don't even no reason to repeat. But I'm with B, and I'm happy it went through.
Yeah,
Well, it's
especially if we see the manipulation in TVL and that, you know, TVL maybe shouldn't even be a such a metric that everything is measured on. And why is it why is it the number one metric? Because ETH determined it to be the number one metric, right?
right.
You know.
Well, if you think
Well, I
about
mean,
TVL, does I would say kind of matters with like security too. So it kind of shows how strong, partially how strong your security is that if you can handle those billions of dollars.
and I'll drop a conversation I had with Michael Cotton after this. It's ready to go. And, you know, we basically just talked about that. You know, his Meld Ventures was invested in LimeWire. We have a cool conversation about that. So there's a
Yeah.
good conversation coming out on the Recoup. I'll plug my show.
Heck yeah.
But,
Hey.
but
all
what
watch
I
it.
will say, and he makes the point in it, is that not all TVL is the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a USDC, USDT, you know, pool it could be really huge TVL, and that doesn't do anything. We need algo USDC. We need, you know,
Yep.
but but I will say about this with governance, because so we're pumping like what, $250 million algo into the market. What, is that every year or every however long? There's, you know, only 10 billion algo, which we all know. We're running out of the opportunity to use those algo to grow. So if we're just kind of rewarding passive people all of this algo, we're going to run out and we're losing our opportunity to actually use it to grow our ecosystem. So
Fact.
there's got to be a change, because the way it's gone now, but quickly, like it seemed kind of hurried, and like, okay, maybe we'll give, you know, DeFi, we'll give AlgoFi basically double, you know, a voting.
Yeah, AlgoFi is the biggest one. So
It's really the, I mean, and there are other good ones. I think Humble, you know, HumbleFi or Humble DeFi is going to be a good one as it grows. Obviously, it had the rocky start.
Folks is great. They're great. I mean, there's more than one, but most of the
TVLs
TVLs are. I love Pact. Yeah,
Pact is cool, but I still use Tiny Man. But also overall,
it gives you a better trade sometimes.
And that's why, you know, I to even kind of go to what you said, Coop, there. I mean, I do feel like, not to say that this is like make or break time, you know, during this bear market and the next bull market, but I do think that the next run, if Algorand's going to make its push to cement itself as the tech that it has behind it, we are kind of in that back against the wall, you know, let's come out guns blazing. And so I do feel like that's where some people were seeing that, you know, the DeFi, you know, that governance vote would help. It would help stimulate some of that DeFi growth and help get more people out of the passive governance and into more active governance, right? And using those algos and stuff instead of just letting them sit in your wallets where, you know, like I said, it's not really doing anything.
Yeah. What I think what Algorand, you know, this is my opinion, what they truly need to do is continue to just work behind the scenes on governments, big corporations, and partnerships. Retail is cool, but the big money, right, is bigger money. It's more long term, and they're thinking. They have a faster time horizon. They have less emotions with their deals. So, you know, like I think about like Michael Saylor's deal when he, you know, got his money to buy Bitcoin. His timeline is like 2028. and where he
Yeah.
got to start paying back loans. So if Algorand's like, okay, like with FIFA, Nigeria, all the big ones they just keep doing that. Retail will follow based
Yeah.
on big money. And I think it's
Well,
just simple right there because no
and
one does truly care about the name. They don't care what it does. They want a
Yeah.
price action. That's what we see. That's what Mark Yusko was saying.
well,
Men
and
want
by the way, getting FIFA right, because the Olympics are coming, and the Olympics are talking about
Mhm.
wanting to move to the blockchain. So
Yep.
and carbon negative. I mean, look,
It has all the
it,
pieces.
it has all the pieces, and I think you're absolutely right, C. Will. Like, yes, retail's fun. We're fun. We're trying to grow a community, and
Yes.
there's yield to be made, and there's ways to fight against this inflation. It's like participate. You got to participate
Yes.
because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just losing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like you are literally being inflated unless you participate. And so, but yeah, I think the bigger stuff, I mean, nail FIFA. FIFA came to them. They
Like
had a
it's like
guy
nail
go
the
that
NBA. Get one of these things.
NBA. Yeah, we're doing soccer. We got the the women's league. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're all that stuff. Like it's growing. So I believe in it. We've believed in it. We're all been talking for a year. Look at all of us. Algo is the pimp. I am the hoe. That's right, bro. Just
Yeah, Jake keep tripping.
keep on doing it, man. Keep on grinding.
Good one. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like continue, because if FIFA recruited Algorand, right, that means these recruiters are intelligent people. They understand the differences of these blockchains and their use cases. Silvio already made it clear. As we know, if you use it, it's a transactional blockchain. It's
Yeah.
basically feeless. So that works for the non 1%, right? Everybody who's not in the 1% or the top 5% of the world, we need a feeless blockchain.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at, I think it was JP Morgan uses a private Ethereum blockchain. We need to get more private blockchains on Algorand. No matter what, they just need to be using Algorand's tech, whether they're
Yeah.
public or private. That's like,
Yeah.
I think would help.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
FIFA could be the catalyst that does bring Algo out of the bear market crypto winter, maybe starts to push up further. I do think, just like JT said many times, that we're probably going to see a bottom. Maybe sometime in the summer. It might be closer to the fall, November, but then we're going to see an end, right? And imagine. Obviously this is some hopium, but FIFA announces that to get for your tickets, right? Tickets for the games that you gotta buy them via NFTs. That right there would be massive. Now I don't know if they would want to do that. If they they obviously the user interface and the mechanics of it would have to be very well run to handle that level. But that's something right there that could be huge. Or even just goals that are scored by the players and stuff could all be commemorated in NFTs. I mean, there's definitely big opportunity there, and I feel like I trust FIFA knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. They're not the most trustworthy. FIFA doesn't have a sterling reputation, but that's okay. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah,
my reputation. Another thing, I'm like how we're big fans of Lofty, right? They got a property dropping in 1 hour, 8.5%. I just bought some yesterday. So Lofty again. I met another founder in a meeting I had. I think it's Go By. Sorry that I slaughtered the name, Matthew. But it's another real estate company like Pocket Properties, Lofty AI. You got this other. So the more I think real estate is like an active use case right now that is quicker to use. So I'm also thinking we need more. Not coders and developers. We just need more people in real estate to use the blockchain, and that right there will speed up mass adoption.
Yeah, more network.
There's another one, Vesta Equity.
Yes, Vesta Equity. I know Crypto Nerd. They're doing some things, and crowdfunding for cities. So I think right there with the play is that most people cannot afford a property. So we got to use our money to get some exposure to the real estate. And I definitely push that to my community a lot. Not financial advice, educational advice, as I always say, but it's the best way to get exposure to something that the common man can afford. And then Algorand makes it a 0% fee.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I think even some of because your board was saying down there, I think that's we see all these partnerships, right? We saw the LimeWire partnership start. We saw the Australian Zoo partnership. We saw the FIFA partnership. Obviously, LimeWire so far has kind of flopped, I guess you could say. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll see how
LimeWire,
the
they're doing the
music
yield thing.
NFT marketplace works. I mean, if that is a big thing, and United Music Group or whatever, Universal Music Group is used, and people like Bieber and Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar, and if all those names actually start creating NFTs and content on Algorand, that definitely is going to bring people into Algorand, opening wallets, buying NFTs and things like that. But we do need to see the network value of these partnerships, right? We've not
Yep.
seen any of it. I mean, you see the Nigeria, IP rights and all that stuff, but yet nothing is tangible, right? There's no way to measure and to really see how these partnerships are going to help. And I feel like that's, it does suck as being an investor and someone who's not, on the inside, really seeing maybe what's going on, and you're not, you kind of just have to wait for the news to drop, right? We're
Right.
waiting for the news to drop that all the tickets for the FIFA World Cup are going to be NFTs on Algorand. Buy them here. That's what we want to see, but we don't know
That's what
anything
we
until
want.
it happens.
Yeah,
So
that
this
needs to happen. We want some collectibles. I want like World Cup, like trading cards, like, but
Yeah.
NFTs, like we need that. I'll buy some of those things. Like, give it to me. Like, don't mess this up. I don't want it to just be a name on a jersey.
Yeah.
And
And we
on the
just
side.
saw with
Tired
the
of that.
Australian Zoo with Meadow Labs. I mean, they did a great job with that launch, right? That was
Hell yeah.
seamless. Obviously people weren't having to wait around and getting failed transactions or high
Yep.
fees with getting the
Yeah.
NFTs. They were able to get them and move on. I saw someone on Ethereum with a 6-figure purchase, and it was like the dude was watching the circle spin for like what felt like ever, to see if the
Sick.
transaction was going to go through. And someone posted today, I forget who it was. I retweeted it. Let me go find it. But they were saying how many transactions have failed on Ethereum.
Oh, it's like over
776,504 failed transactions on Ethereum since June 1st.
you.
So this month.
And that's,
And that's like how many times the Solana went down too.
right. But
Oh,
all
man.
those have
11
paid
times.
gas
3
fees,
in
right?
2 weeks.
I mean, I can tell you this. I would not be bullish on crypto if I was only in ETH, didn't know about Algorand. Right? If I'm just in ETH and I've been buying NFTs and you have that, struggle to go through with wondering if the transaction is going to go through, paying for the gas fees anyway, and then you're seeing all the red and the doom and gloom. Like, yeah, I would be terrified because what's the good picture look like? What future are you working towards?
Well, and then just real quick, and I talk about this with Michael, is that if you go outside of crypto Twitter and like go to an Australian Zoo post about NFTs, and then you start to scroll their comments, it is a lot of like, how could you do this? It's terrible for the environment. You're supporting this, blah, blah, blah. Anything outside of our bubble, these people are crazy. And so Algorand has the message and the, there may be a couple other ones that can say that they're carbon negative, but no, we actually have Near says that, I think, but we actually have the real world using it, like a FIFA. And so that brings an instant credibility.
Yep.
And other things like governments and countries like El Salvador and Nigeria and things like that. So it's, this case needs to be made. Clearly Algorand's working on it. And, they turned off Times Square for the evening, and they're trying to make this. That was all right. That was all right. They're trying to make the message known. It looks like Crypto for Change fell asleep there. There he is. He's back.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's like, I know I'm like usually a proponent of Algorand not working with big. He's out, in and out. Yeah. Big companies, but they need to get with like, I know I'm like VaynerMedia or somebody, and then really do a green campaign, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something they haven't done. I'm not a big fan of one-off things like they did in New York. That's was hella expensive, I know, because everything in New York is. But yeah it's just I think just a campaign about being carbon neutral and the planet will be very, very important. Because, you got people like Tesla is getting credit for inventing green cars or electric cars. That didn't happen. That's all manipulation of the media. And then Microsoft is NBC. They need to go cut a deal with Microsoft or something, because I do know Microsoft is an investor of something that Algorand is invested in. So they're in these circles. You just got to leverage mainstream media, I believe, a little better. Because even when
at the same
Lofty on TV, they didn't say Lofty's name. They just
Yeah.
talk about what Lofty is doing.
Right. Yeah.
That's like
well,
everything
at
with
the same
Algorand.
I know, it's so annoying. And that's also something like with the Times Square thing. They also announced simultaneously that the smart contract is there's going to be a little bit forever, going towards buying back carbon credits or buying carbon
Oh
credits.
yeah,
So,
the
but
fees
that
so
like
close.
nobody, that just kind of like just nobody really, we barely even remember it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're paying attention to this every single day. So
Yes.
the message needs to get out there about these things but people aren't ready. The world
Yeah.
isn't ready yet, and they're certainly not ready now because now they're just pointing and laughing at us. You
Yep.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
So right
That's
now they're at
that's
people are
the
bad.
too
you
worried.
guys were so stupid phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
people are too worried about everything else, right? Gas being through the roof and food being through the roof and inflation's out of
I
control
mean, like,
and
who's
you got
stupid now?
wars.
Gas
I
is
mean,
triple.
the world operates on fear, and everybody right now is worried. I mean, obviously we're about to welcome our first child into the world, and obviously we read the headlines that there's formula shortages and diaper shortages and all these other crazy things that try to make you worry about the future so that you don't really look to see the opportunity that's right in front of you. That's where I
Hey
feel like
man, it's
we're at.
fear-based
Yeah.
economy, right? Fear-based. And if one indicator, right? What I learned, I wish I'd have learned this before. One indicator, the Bitcoin or crypto fear index indicator, right? Right now it's like at 7.
7.
Yeah.
Which is low.
So what does that mean? That means we are in a buying zone.
Yeah.
And if you just follow only that chart, and every time it passes 60 and up, 60 to 70, you should sell. Basically based on people's emotions and index of that fear and greed index right
Yeah.
now. So we're at a buy zone, and no matter what, I follow what the billionaires are doing. They make moves differently. They think about generational wealth, and there's a lot of things. So I implement that into my own process. So Kathy Wood's ARK went down, but they was up for the last 5 years. We got to be patient, I think,
Yeah.
in terms of these Algorand doing what it's supposed to do. But my one fear is with Algorand is if it ever stopped, it's over.
Oh yeah, we would lose. I mean, I don't know if it's over, but
Yeah,
man, if we went down,
it'll be bad. It'd be bad.
it'd be bad. Oh man,
Yeah.
because
They
that
can
would
point
just
to it. That would be the one weakness. I don't think it's going to stop. It's been like 3 years.
Yeah.
Ethereum hasn't stopped. They did fork. Bitcoin never stopped. So as long as we can keep going.
Yeah. Be the Energizer Bunny, right? Just outlast them.
Yeah, we want that story, man. We don't want to be we want to be the one that's never been down. I don't want to. I don't.
It's definitely the crutch, not the crutch we've been sitting on, but that's a good thing about Algorand is when the transactions go through, you don't have to worry about failed transactions. You don't have to worry about it finalizing and your transaction getting reversed. You can trust that every time you send it, do something, it's going to happen. Every single time, like clockwork. So as we end out, let's talk a little hopium, right? Like what to end out 2022, right? We've literally had one of the worst starts to the year as far as even if you just look at the stock market, right?
Yeah.
Equities, like everything has been down so much. Even listening to Michael Arrington talk on the live he just did with Thinking Crypto, he was saying that he could see that the Fed's going to have to change, right? They're going to have to even if they tighten it, it's going to have to loosen up because it's not going to fix inflation the way it's done it in the past. And so he was thinking that by the end of this year, at some point in 2022, he sees the markets starting to flip around and be bullish. What are you guys thinking, as far as your bottoms, price wise on algo? Let's speculate a little bit, have some fun here to end it out. What are your thoughts, C. Will?
Well, I'm seeing if algo cracks, that 30, it will hit about 25. That's that next, mental range, 24, 25 cents. Yeah. And I'm buying, definitely going to buy more. But, at the end of the day, like I said kind of earlier, I think this winter is when everything will slowly start to bottom out. Because I'm really watching, when we watch the Fed, it was quantitative easing there, printing money. And that makes tech stocks run. And crypto is technically now a tech stock. It's just a different form. So it is running. And once we get all the rest of these hikes, I feel like things will start to go back to the upside. And they're predicting another total of 1.75% that the Fed is going to do this winter. And usually they do what they say or worse. So the hopium is this for me. I'm buying the dip. Like I got my eyes set on like Amazon stock, Algorand, Bitcoin, Apple, a couple other things with an A on it. And I'm
AMD.
Yeah, so that's my hopium is like I pray for the best, prices I can get in at. Now
Yeah.
the time is here, and I think in 2024, and when we get a top of the bull market, I'm gonna have hella money.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. I like
Cooper,
it,
what do
man.
you
And
think?
well, look, I
What's
mean,
your outlook for the remaining year, remainder of 2022?
oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, clearly the Fed is like, all right, we're going to be aggressive because they want to be able to be aggressive and then they can pull back from
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
So you go 75 basis points and then it's like, okay, then it'll relieve the markets when they go down to 50 basis
50, yep.
points and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. Now, do we have confidence in the Fed executing a soft landing? That's but so it's so dicey and there's so many kind of macro effects, like how crazy is Putin? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How far is he going to take this?
Yeah.
What's China's move with Taiwan?
Yeah.
Not to
Yep.
like sit here and like FUD us and and make everybody be scared, but these are the things that I'm paying attention to because China and Taiwan conflict is not going to be good.
No.
So
Oh
we're
no, the semiconductors. If they take that, it's U.S.
the
is
whole
gonna.
thing.
Woo.
The whole thing, but Bitcoin was really kind of built to, for these times, right? This
Yeah.
is like what so I'm looking to see, is that thesis going to play out a little bit? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if it does, it will start going up. And
Yeah.
if that goes up, some of these other ones are going to go up. I think we're going to thin out this we're going to be thinned. I don't think maybe Solana does. I don't know. There's a lot of people invested in it, but I
Yeah.
think we're going to lose a lot of the things that aren't
Yeah.
great. And hopefully, and I believe the hopium is that Algorand is, my conviction is that it's one of them. So that's going to be fantastic.
One of
And
them,
we're
yep.
going to see FIFA, and we're going to see the World Cup, and we're all going to be rooting for whatever, the US or Italy or whatever. Who you guys rooting for? You guys, the US? You guys even watch soccer?
I'll be pulling for US. I don't even think
Yeah.
Italy made it.
Oh.
Like, isn't that the reason?
They
Isn't
not
that
make
the
it.
thing that
They didn't make it
Silvio-
last time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
root
they
for the
made it.
women's U.S.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're good. They
Yeah,
don't.
they're
They never
nice.
lose. So,
No,
yeah.
that's why.
But anyways, I mean, look, I think people are right. I think in the winter we're going to see a turnaround, and hopefully, I don't know. I have no idea. I won't even price predict at this point because I do think we're going down. I'm curious right now what's going to happen when governance, like when people get the rewards. I'm worried
Yeah.
about that. Like,
People are
what are
gonna
these guys? Are
sell?
they ready
I
to
don't know.
sell and thin, or are they just waiting for the reward? And so that's going to be a dicey time, next month when
Yeah.
these unlock. And so I'm watching that for maybe some algo lows, because if the markets are still, which they probably will be, rough, I mean, hopefully these people they know that they're selling low, but so I don't know. That might be a buying opportunity, or they're just going to re-up and go back into governance. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see higher than 30 cents at the end of the year.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's, I feel like where I'm at and just with everything, obviously, that you guys have mentioned, I'm not going to go into, all that since you guys touched on it, but you pretty much read my mind. I do think that I honestly think that there's a chance Algo sees, under 20 cents. That's where my buys are set. My biggest buys are going to be set for under there. I just don't see, like, you were kind of saying, Coop, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't go there. Right. I mean, there's a lot, way more selling pressure, especially if you look at just of algos and you look at governance is about to end and, all the other macro things that are going on. I think that it's, we may see the relief bounce, right? I was watching the market yesterday. It was sitting at like 31 cents. And I was like, wow, we're up after the Fed. And then I literally looked away to create a tweet, came back and saw that the market had pumped all the way to 40 cents and come back down. And I was like,
whoa,
it
hit 40 cents yesterday?
It showed it. I will say this. Some people were questioning. They didn't see it. It showed it for me on TradingView. So I don't know. Maybe my TradingView acted up, but it was pulling the information from Binance, or that's where it pulls it. So I don't know. Maybe it didn't go that high, but regardless, it went up to 36 cents.
It definitely, I saw 35 cents. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think there is the ability that we could either trade sideways for a bit until we fall lower. There could be a somewhat relief bounce, but I ultimately see us falling to the depths, right? To the point where you start to see the max fear hit in. People really, it'll make people even start questioning Algorand, right? I'm talking to the diehard believers, the people who love the tech.
Well, it's already happening, yeah.
It is, but I think I think it could get worse. You know, if you imagine ETH dropping under 1,000, Bitcoin under 15K, algo under 20 cents, like you're going to see, you know, I think you're going to see more fear than you're seeing now. But,
oh yeah, there'll be so much. Yeah, Bitcoin at 15,000, people are gonna crypto's dead.
Yeah,
and it might not recover. We're gonna hear that shit all the time.
Yeah,
and that is right there is when you will. That is the perfect time to buy. Load the boat, in my opinion. Obviously, not financial advice. Do your own research, but that's where, and then you're going to see that thinning, right? All those projects that are Ponzi's and built on fluff and networks being down, high gas fees can't be used, are going to die. And when the things rise from the ashes, Algorand will. I think, you know, like you can. I used to think Algorand's going to have that bronze medal. I don't think I think we're shooting for either silver or gold, honestly.
And
that's,
hey, I wish we were all in person. We could hug and be like, it's gonna be all right, guys. It's gonna be all right.
There we go. And as long as you know, someone said it's talking about that blue horse. As long as JT makes another sacrifice on the way back, I think we might be even better.
Yes.
Yeah, we need JT to like get on his knees before that horse. Before the horse. Just pray. Give us a prayer to the horse. And then Jake, I saw Jake's comment earlier. Jake promised 25 cents is the bottom. Yeah. So Jake promises, man. So here we go. There it is. Bottom will be 25 cents.
This what he said top. He said a wick though, just a wick.
Just a way.
Hey, $1.60. He promises, man.
Yeah, I will say, you know, Michael Arrington. Yes, I said that's a great interview. Everybody should go check it out. I don't know how many people follow Thinking Crypto, but Michael Arrington is a massive bull for Algorand. He did mention a little bit about Algorand. I think right now he's biggest on Moonbeam. Obviously, it's one that's been hit really hard, and he's probably trying to pump it as well to get it to go up. But nonetheless,
it's his new fund.
You know, he thinks that the markets are in such crazy areas that, you know, we may not see a soft landing or a bear market that just kind of fizzles out. He said, you know, we could see it could be just as crazy on the down end to end the year going up. Like, you know, we could see something crazy that no one expects. And that's the thing is, you know, the money is made when you do the opposite of what the masses are doing. And right now there's mass fear, right? So obviously buying could be good. But just like when everybody gets to those points where it's, you know, the sky is falling, it could rip up. And that's the thing with crypto. And that's why we love it, because it's super volatile, fun. And every single week there is a story to talk about.
Yes, facts. Well, on that note, should we close out?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Thanks for the chat. Everybody who showed up, make sure to smash that like button. It helps get this video out to more people so they see it and can have fun and join into the Algorand talk. And until next time, guys.
Wait 1 second. Make sure y'all follow Crypto for Change.
Oh, yeah.
Follow The Recoup. Follow Passive Income Network. And follow JT Invest in you. And then go ahead.
For sure. And obviously, if you want to help out the channel grow, send us some algo. The QR code is right there. Obviously, every bit that you send goes to make this show better as it grows. And obviously, as Algorand grows, we're going to need a lot of the community to be here to help new people learn about the amazing things that is Algorand. So thanks, everybody, for tapping in.
All right. Thank you, guys. I had fun, man.
Yep.